morning and a very warm welcome in this special episode of BiseshSambad. Today's special episode is special because we will be in conversation with Swami Sailendra Saraswati, a previous MBBS doctor, a spiritual guru, a leader, a mystic who has further extended and is working to revive the legacy of Rajneesh Osho and his style of meditation. Today we will focus on the art of the meditation, art of healing in today's world and its importance in today's world. So let me introduce you to the Swamiji, Swami Sailendra Saraswati. Swamiji, welcome to the show.
Namaste.
Namaste. It's such an honor to have you here.
I'm also enjoying being in Nepal.
So Swamiji, as we can see in the today's world, there is so much chaos, disputes. Whenever we can open the TV, we see the news of ongoing wars, conflicts everywhere. So why the world is becoming like this?
There is something wrong in this question. This is not something new which has happened today. It has been going on since all the time. Of course, there was no newspapers and no television, so most of the people did not know about it. We were limited. We had only information about our neighborhood or about the village or the nearby village, that's all. But the thing which is happening today has been going on. Mahabharat, the great Indian war, happened 5,000 years ago. Do you think it was different from today's situation? It was the same situation. The story is written by someone, that's why we knew about it, otherwise we will lost the facts about the history. Today we are connected with the media, so we know everything what is happening in the world. So the problem is not new, otherwise we will treat it as a different thing. And as a medical doctor, I would say we consider diseases in two ways, the acute illness and chronic illness. If we misunderstand a chronic illness as an acute problem, then our treatment will be different, and of course that treatment will not work for the chronic illness because our diagnosis is wrong. We are thinking it is something recently happened, some acute problem. So this war, this fight, this conflict, this unpeacefulness, this has been going on since humanity is there. Nothing new. The new thing is the media, the news channels, we know about it. Previously, we didn't know about. We didn't know that America exists. We didn't know that Russia exists. There was no idea that Australia is there or Africa is there. We knew only about our nearby surroundings. So this is something new. The war is not new. The fight is not new. So now we have to look from a different angle. It is a chronic human problem, not something recent. It has been going on and on and on in small ways, in the family, with the neighborhood, one village fighting with the another village, one race fighting with another race, the conflict between Hindu and Muslim, and so on and so on. The conflict between Brahman and Sudra, the conflict between Vaishya and Kshatri. It has been going on between Protestant and Catholics, between Jews and Christians. It has been going on all over the world. So it is a chronic problem. Now our diagnosis will be different, and of course the treatment will be different. So first consider it as a chronic human problem, and now I will come to the very root cause of it. The root cause is comparison and competition. To every child, the parents teach to compare with others and compete with them, go ahead of them. You have to become the first in the class. You have to win the game in the school. You have to do this, you have to do this. Every parent is teaching comparison and competition. Now, as the child grows, he is full of jealousy, he is full of competition. He wants to just destroy everybody and become the winner. This is the root cause, and unless we treat this ongoing conflicting situation all over the world cannot disappear. And this poisonous seeds of comparison and competition are planted by the parents. So it has been going on from generation to next generation. Nothing new.
So Swamiji, how to make life a little bit simpler, a little bit easy?
If we can understand what has made it complicated, this comparison is the mental illness we are suffering from, and this has been given by the society to us, by our parents, by our relatives, by our teachers, by the so-called good people. They were our well-wishers, and they have planted these poisonous seeds in us. Comparison, competition, jealousy, be the first, go ahead, you have to be the winner, never lose anything. This has made us complicated. Albert Einstein used to make a funny statement. He said that if schools and colleges are opened in the forest, in jungles, and the animals are collected there and they got admission in the school, we will teach them something like this. We will teach the fishes how to fly in the sky. Look at the birds, they are flying, and you stupid, you are just swimming in the water. Learn flying. And we will teach the monkeys, what are you doing on the trees? Dive deep in the water. You should learn diving. And we will teach vegetarianism to the tigers. And we will teach non-vegetarianism to the elephants. And we will destroy everybody's happiness. Right now everyone is happy, as they are, as nature has made them. The fish is a fish and she is enjoying being a fish. There is no comparison with the birds. The birds are flying. They have no comparison with the huge animals walking on the earth. No comparison. Everybody is happy. So the unhappiness enters the moment we start comparing with others and we start competition. If a rose flower is taught to be a big lotus flower, you are just a small rose. This is not right. You should be big like lotus. And if the rose becomes insane and he tries to become the lotus, he will not be even a good rose then. He cannot become, this is impossible, he will never become a lotus, but he will be miserable, he will be in depression, he would like to commit suicide, he will suffer from inferiority complex. So this is what has happened to the whole humanity. We are taught to be somebody which we cannot be. Everybody is taught. There are some ideal images and they are given to each child. You have to do this, you have to become this. And the poor child, he cannot become, but mentally now he is unhealthy. He is trying to become something which he is not born to become. And he will keep on suffering and suffering and suffering, and he will feel the inferiority complex. Or if he wins and becomes that, he will suffer from superiority complex. Again, that is a psychological illness. That is not normal. So either inferiority or superiority. So this way, the whole humanity has become psychologically insane, and we are complicated. Now, you are asking how to become simple. Just understand this stupidity and drop it. The moment we understand this is stupid, whatever I am, whatever the existence has made me, I should enjoy being that. There is no need to compare with anybody, and there is no need to become something. I am already what I am supposed to be. God wants me in this way, that's why I am in this way. God wants you in this way, that's why you are like this. So let us enjoy being ourselves. The moment we start enjoying ourselves, we become simple human beings, and our life will be full of bliss. Right?
Right. As a spiritual guru, as a spiritual leader, there is this question that I always wanted to ask you. So what does peace mean, and how can we know if we are with peace?
First thing, I would have a little objection about the word leader and guru. Please don't count me in that category.
Okay.
I'm not a guru, I'm not a leader, I'm not leading anybody, nobody is my follower. At the most, you can call me a friend. I have known the peacefulness. I am enjoying my life. If somebody else wants in the same way to live, you can learn the same way. But the peacefulness, you are asking how to recognize the peace. when peace happens, you know it. It is just like if somebody has a headache, maybe a migraine since many years, and the moment migraine is cured, the person will know that the headache is finished. It is no more there. Similarly, we are stressed, we are in depression, we are in anxiety. We know this is unpeacefulness. This is our miserable state of the mind. When authentic peace or bliss happens, we will recognize it immediately. How do you recognize the headache is gone? You know. You don't ask for proof that whether my headache is gone or not. When you wake up in the morning, you know the sleep is gone, the dreams are finished, you are awake. You don't ask your family members, am I awake? Is there any proof? What is the proof of my awareness? No, you never ask. You know it is happening inside you. Similarly, when this peace happens, the person knows it is there. There is no proof needed. We don't ask anybody. So when we are suffering, we are miserable, we know it. When the misery is over, the suffering is over, we know it. When you are unhealthy, you know it. And when you become healthy, you don't need a certificate from a doctor. You perfectly know, you recognize that you are healthy now. Similarly, peace is mental health.
Also has simplified the method of the meditation, like listening to the music, dancing, constantly singing or laughing. But the young people think that the meditation is a rigid process. Can you explain it?
This idea of meditation being a rigid process comes from the past. If we look at the history, people like Gautam Buddha and Mahavira and Patanjali, they were very serious people doing austerity, torturing themselves, doing fasting, leaving the palace, leaving the family, living in the forest, in the mountains, in aloneness, and doing meditation. So whenever we use the word meditation, we think of those people who renounced their family, who renounced all the comforts of the life, and lived a very arduous life of self-torture. So somehow that idea dominates. Whenever you use the word meditation, you immediately think of those people. Osho has given a totally new meaning. It is not renunciation, but it is a celebration of life. We don't have to leave the family. We don't have to do fasting. We have to enjoy food meditatively. We have to live with our family, with our friends, in a celebrative way, in a joyful way, in a more loving way. So we get the real juice of life in every possible way. So this is not renunciation. Osho has made it a celebration, and that's why there is music, there is dance, there is celebration connected with the meditation. So this is something very new. If we want to drop the word meditation, we can drop the meditation, because that gives the old connotation, the old connection of seriousness. Osho wants people to laugh, wants to enjoy life in every possible way, in every dimension. He is not against richness, he is not against comforts, he is not against relations. He says, live in this life, respect the life fully, and live in a more aware way. So meditation for Osho means more awareness, more lovingness. In simple words, we can translate meditation as loving awareness. The more I become, suppose I am eating food or drinking water. If I am taking it with more awareness, I will be more sensitive and I will have a different taste of water, which the ordinary people cannot have, because they are not doing it meditatively, they are not doing it with great awareness. So meditation means more sensitivity, more awareness, and a loving attitude. Somebody may be eating lunch and thinking of so many other things, the problems going in the office or the war happening in the world, or thinking whatever, and he is eating food, then he is not enjoying the food. He is not in the moment, here and now. He cannot have the complete taste of the food. But a meditative person means he is not thinking of anything else. When he is eating, he is just eating. He is totally there. So this is the meaning of meditation, a loving awareness in moment to moment life. When I am talking with you, I'm 100% here. No past exists, no future exists for me. This dialogue, this sambad, this is all. The whole life is. So this is a new meditative way. If we want to use the word meditation for this, fine. If we can drop it, perfectly fine. So this is a way of living with more sensitivity, more awareness, more lovingness.
As you said, when we are talking that we are completely talking here, no external factor is affecting us. So Swamiji, how can we concentrate? How can we bring this thinking of total concentration?
Let us not use the word concentration for it, because concentration means we are forcing our mind on something and the mind is trying to run away. When we like something, when we love something, the mind gets focused automatically. If you are just doing it as a duty, just to earn money, you are conducting this interview, then there may be many things in your mind simultaneously. You may be thinking of the future, what is the next episode is going to be, you have to plan this, you have to do this, that. Then you cannot be total, 100% here. But if you are doing it lovingly, you are enjoying this talk, then the future disappears, the past disappears, this moment becomes the whole life, and that is the meditative quality.
So, as a spiritual guru, we come across a lot of the questions. So, Swamiji, what is the difference between spirituality and religion? Are they both interconnected, or there is the vast difference?
Initially, the religion and spirituality were one. They were synonymous thousands of years ago. Gradually, the religion now means an institution. Of course, it is political, it is economical, it is financial, it is social, and so many factors in it. Only the spirituality has disappeared. When we use the word Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Buddhist, we mean a group of people of same blind beliefs. They are all blinds, but their beliefs are same. And they have a political organization. They are connected with each other, and it is just like a political party. They believe in one thing, they are ideal in one, and of course there is fight going on with the others. So the Christians are against Hindus, Hindus are against Muslims, Muslims are against Jews, and so on and so forth. The spiritual factor has disappeared. They have become just political organizations. So when spirituality becomes organized, it takes the form of religions. And when it is unorganized, it is just happening in the consciousness. When the body, mind, and soul of the person is filled with that awareness, lovingness, that is spirituality. So spirituality is very individual. It has nothing to do with other. It cannot become an organized thing. It is just very individual. Religion is collective. Spirituality is very individual. So a Gautam Buddha is just an individual. He is a spiritual. The moment it becomes a religion, Buddhist religion, it takes the form of a politics. Similarly, Jesus Christ himself is a spiritual person, but that thing ends with him. What the Christianity follows behind him is not what Jesus Christ was. He was the only Christian, real Christian, spiritual Christian, who died on the cross, and everything was over. Now, what we see as Christianity is a organized political sect in the name of religion, nothing else. So institution cannot become spiritual. It only person can be spiritual. It is just like love. A boy and girl fall in love. This is not part of an institution. Nobody is dictating them. Nobody is making rules, do this and don't do this. It is, they are living with their own heart, with their own feelings, very spontaneous. They are not following anybody. They are just living in this moment with their own feelings, with their own sensitivity, with their own heart. Love cannot become an institution. The moment we will make an institution, only one thing will disappear, and that is love. Of course, the organized sect of love will be full of hate, full of anger, full of comparison, full of do's and don'ts, full of regulations. The only thing will be missing is love. So similar misfortune has happened with spirituality. It happens to single individual once in a while. The moment followers gather and they make it organized, the spirituality is finished. It becomes a religion. So spiritualism and religions are just opposite to each other.
We often hear of people saying like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do in a certain way, or do this in a certain way. Is there anything such as right and wrong?
One thing is right, do with awareness and lovingness. This is right. I'm not saying what you do. Osho has not given us any commandments that do this, don't do this. No regulations, no definition of character, it's good and bad. Osho has not given any such thing. He says living with awareness and love is right. Living with unawareness, a mechanical life, a robot-like, and living with anger and hate and jealousy, that is right, wrong. So living with love is right, living with anti-love emotions is wrong. Living with awareness is virtue. Living with unawareness, a mechanical robot-like life, is sin. So very simple definition. So I will not tell what to do, what not to do. I am telling how to do and how not to do. Don't live a mechanical life. We are not robots. We are human beings. We have consciousness. We have emotions. So let us enjoy that. All other things our physical body can do and our mind can do now can be replaced by machines. The crane can do much muscular work than a human being can do. The factories are running, they are producing more than thousands of people can do. So they have replaced the human muscular work, and now the computer and the artificial intelligence, they are replacing the human mind. And of course, when the quantum computing will happen, it will be millions times more efficient than the human beings. After all, what our mind is doing, collecting information, that is data, input, and then using the data when the moment comes. Suppose a person studies for 25 years and becomes a medical doctor. He has gained information in 25 years, and when the patient will come, he will use the right information to treat him. Now this can be done by a machine. We don't need human beings, and don't waste that 25 years for becoming a doctor. A robot can do this, and much better, much efficiently than any human being can do. Now robots are doing surgery, and of course no efficient surgeon can do it in the same way as a robot can do, because he will never commit any mistake. His hands will not tremble with age. He will remain a perfect surgeon. And similarly, gradually all jobs will be replaced by robots. Artificial intelligence will take over everything. And of course that will be much efficient and much more reliable than human beings. A person driving a car, he cannot be 100% sure that the accident will not happen. But with the robotic car, 100% accident proof. A doctor may make a mistake, make wrong judgment, wrong diagnosis. The robot can never do it. He will never forget anything. Everything will be taken care of. A lady in USA, there is a robot advocate. Now he has all the legal information, and it can be updated every day. Human beings cannot be updated. Suppose somebody who studied with me in MBBS 50 years ago, he is not getting updated. This is not possible because he is so busy in seeing patients and then family problems. He cannot read. He doesn't have time to read anymore. But the robot doctor will be always updated, automatically updated, everyday updates. So he will be the most modern doctor. No doctor can be as updated. Similarly, the robot advocate, and one robot advocate can be connected with any computer in the whole country. Anybody can send the problem, I am suffering from this problem, this is the legal situation, give me the advice, and the robot advocate will give the right advice, proper legal advice. And it will happen immediately within seconds. Everybody can do from their home. You don't need to get an appointment with an advocate and then wait in the queue and then tell your problem, and then he will manipulate. He will try to earn as much money as possible from the client. He will delay the legal process in many ways. The robot advocate will not do all this nonsense. He will simply give, this is right, this is wrong, this is legal, this is illegal, and this should happen in this way. So gradually, not only the doctors and drivers and the advocates, in all other fields, gradually people will disappear. Google can teach much better than any professor of the university. What is the need of these schools and colleges, universities anymore? This can be done at home. No need to wake up the child at 6 o'clock in the morning that you have to go to the school, and the child is angry on mother, and the child and mother relationship is becoming very bitter because of this. He wants to sleep and mother makes him wake up. No need to do it. Whenever he wakes up, let him enjoy his sleep. When he wakes up, he will get the information, the class on his laptop, on his mobile. It is so simple. So most of the human work which the mind was doing previously now will be replaced. Within 10 years, you will see most of the human jobs are over, finished, taken over by the artificial intelligence, and that will be a paradise on the earth. Now what the human beings will do? The muscular work is taken by the machines, factories. The mental work is taken by the artificial intelligence. What the human beings will do? Now there are only two things left for human beings. And one is the emotion, the heart, and our soul, the consciousness. No machine, no AI can replace emotions and meditation. So these are the two things which makes us really human. And the more we indulge, the more we live according to our feeling, we more live according to our consciousness, according to our soul, the life will be more peaceful, more blissful, and really human life. Right now, most of the people working like machines, most of the people working like robots, we call them intellectuals, they are just poor intelligent. The artificial intelligence will be millions times more intelligent than them. So what will be left for us? A loving life and life full of awareness. So these two things will be most important in the future. The more sooner we recognize the value of feelings and the being awareness, more blissful, more satisfactory our life will be. We cannot be satisfied with the material gains. You know, many rich people, they may have gathered a lot of money, but there is no peace, there is no bliss, there is no love. On the contrary, they are more stony heart than the ordinary people. Just while coming to the car, we were discussing with our friends, rich man's son is angry on his father. Mostly I see this. Even when we were poor, half century or 1 century ago, the son was grateful to the father and mother. Of course, he was not rich. So many facilities were not given to him, but still he was thankful to the father. He has given so much. And nowadays we see the son is angry on father. Father is angry on the son. The more we are collecting materialism, less we are becoming loving. The husband and wife are not so loving to each other anymore. The parents and children are becoming angry on each other. The neighbors have hardly any relation. In rich countries, nobody recognizes who is the neighbor. They have never seen, never met with each other. We are becoming more isolated. So our richness has not become a fortune to us. It has become a misfortune. The family is disappearing. In the super rich countries, the marriage has disappeared. Now it is finished. No more marriage, no more divorce, nothing like that. Gradually, all our relations are just disappearing, evaporating. Man is becoming more and more isolated, and this isolated person cannot feel happiness, cannot feel joy. He has nobody else to share with.
As you mentioned, the world is becoming more isolated. Is this the reason behind that the young generation are suffering from depression, frustration? The world is becoming more unhappy?
Yes, one part belongs to this. You already know that when somebody goes in depression, he becomes isolated. He doesn't want to meet with anyone. He doesn't want to relate with anyone. He has no friends. He doesn't want to move outside in the society. He becomes isolated, closed in the room. So this is the effect of depression. Now the reverse can also happen. If we become isolated, as things are becoming, we will be depressed. So being related with other, enjoying the company, being friendly, being related with people, that gives us joy. So the more joyful we become, more we share. Or the reverse is also true. More we share, more we become joyful. If a flower is covered with a glass vessel and not allowed to share the fragrance, of course, he will not receive the sun rays, he will not receive the pure oxygen or carbon dioxide anymore. He will suffer, and soon the flower will be finished, over. He cannot share, he cannot take. Give and take happens simultaneously. The more we give, the more we are able to take. The more we take, we are more able to give. When we are not allowed to give, for whatever reason, I travel in train, we see people talking with each other, sharing with each other, opening their tiffin box and sharing the breakfast and lunch with each other, talking with each other. When I travel in aeroplane, everybody is sitting like a statue. They don't even look at the person who is sitting next. Nobody will talk with anyone. These are rich people, sophisticated, educated. Everyone is isolated. We cannot recognize the person who was sitting next to me. After 1 hour, I won't be able to recognize because I have never looked at her or him. We are becoming isolated. That means we are not able to share. Then we are not able to take either. Just imagine a well is there full of water, and we draw water from the well. The moment we draw water, fresh water comes from the underground water table. The well is always full of fresh water. If we stop drawing water from the well, what will happen? The water which is there will become soon rotten. It will not be worth drinking. It will be rotten, poisonous water. And the well which was connected with the underground water sources, those channels will be blocked. No more fresh water will come in this well. So something like this is happening. With depression, the person becomes a rotten well. He is not sharing. Now he is not receiving also. He is just like a dead stone. He is no more alive. So this misfortune is happening. The more we become educated, more sophisticated, more cultured, more isolated. And that's why so much depression is happening. So many people are committing suicide as never happened before. The people were poor, they were unhealthy, they had a short life span, and there were so many troubles in the past, but nobody suffered from depression. When I was a medical student, In the huge hospital of medical college, there were 600 beds, only 10 beds for psychological sick people. It was a very small department, the department of psychiatry. Hardly ever anybody came to that department. 10 beds out of 600, and sometimes even those 10 beds were not occupied. And now psychiatry has become a huge department. Now we are physically less ill. We know more about nutrition, we know about vitamins, we are getting proper vaccination at proper time. So many infectious diseases have disappeared forever from all over the world. Now there is no more smallpox, now there is no more polio, now there is no more diphtheria, no more tetanus, no more rabies. So many big problems, plague and cholera, they have just become part of the history. So physically we are much well, our lifespan is expanded, but psychologically we are more sick than ever. And this is something new. The more we get educated, we become more complicated, we become more comparative, more competitive. And the person I am competing with, how can I be friendly with him? A child is studying in the class, there are 50 students more, and everybody's parents is telling the child, you should become the first in the class. Now he says, these are my friends, these are my colleagues, but this is not a fact. These are the real enemies. You have to defeat them. You have to win over them. How can they be friends? So in current situation, there is no friendliness, there is no lovingness. Nobody like a neighbor. That neighborhood has disappeared, which used to be there in the past. So we have to become aware of this problem. Again, I will come to the root cause, and that is our education, which is based on comparison and competition. We teach politics from the KG and primary school.
Thank you for your valuable words, Swamiji. We have come to the end of the show. So what are the messages that you would like to give to the younger generation of today?
I would like to tell the young generation that what your old generation have taught you, please unlearn it, forget it. The old generations have been living under this poisonous education of comparison and competition, and they have given you the same poisonous thing from the early childhood. When you were unaware, you didn't have your own intellect, you could not doubt, you were trusting your parents, your elders, your teachers, and they were teaching you this dirty politics of competition. Now become aware, this is not the right way of living, and you have to announce, you have to declare that I will live my life according to myself. Now don't force me, don't teach me, don't tell me what to do, what not to do. Let me live my own life. If I am not a rose flower, I am not a lotus flower, I am just a grass flower, please let me be the grass flower. I don't want to become anything else. Just let me be myself. So this is my message to the new generation. You have to be rebellious. Of course, your parents, your teachers you thought they were your well-wishers, but unknowingly, with their well wishes, unwellness has come in. They have made you psychologically sick. You cannot enjoy being yourself, you are always competing with others. And this way, you can never have contentment and joy and peace and bliss in your life. So you have to revolt. And this is not something personal to your individual parents or teachers. This is, I am telling about the whole global village, the whole humanity, because everybody is suffering from the same thing, whether in this country or that country, whether belonging to this race or the other race, everybody is suffering from the same psychological pattern. And this is given by the older generations, and they were also victims, they were given by their elder generation, and this has been going on and on and on and on. We don't know from from where it started. Let us not worry about history, when and why it started, but we can end it, we can finish it today. And this is our individual responsibility, that I am the owner of my life. That's why we call a spiritual person Swami. Swami means he is the owner, he is the person who will decide about himself. So you don't have to follow anybody. Forget all about old religions, forget all about the education has given you, forget the parents which have given you their traditions. It's a wrong, unhealthy tradition. We have to revolt. This is the only way we can save the earth. Otherwise, we are moving towards the last world war. Because our parents have been doing it, they were doing on a small scale. The wars have been going on and on and on. Now things have become global, more technical, and now we can destroy the whole humanity. Not only the humanity, the life as such. So this is the most educated century and the most dangerous century, and maybe the last century if we don't become aware, if we don't revolt against the past. I would like to tell the new generation, please read Osho's book. Particularly, there is a book, Shiksha Mein Kranti, Revolution in Education. So what I was telling you, explaining you, sharing with you, these are the ideas given by Osho in this book, Revolution in Education. And this is the only revolution which can change the face of the earth. All other revolutions have failed completely. The so-called political revolution, social revolution, they have all failed. Nothing has worked. Now there is one revolution is needed. The base of the education should be changed. No more comparison, no more competition, but a friendliness, a lovingness, a more aware human being is needed. And in the future, the muscular work and the brain work, means the memory work, is not required. So why to torture children to memorize so many things? It will never be needed. So the new generation is free to live a life with heart, with consciousness. Okay?
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for your valuable words. It's such a great pleasure having you here.
I'm also very thankful to give me a chance to share Osho's vision, particularly about the education and revolution. We can forget about everything about the old ways of politics and religions and whatever nonsense was going on. The new generation can be really new, fresh beginning.
With this show, we have come to the end of this special episode of BiseshSambad. Today, we were in conversation with Swami Sailendra Saraswati regarding the art of healing, the art of meditation and happiness. We will be back with our next episode. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.